Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Northwest Craftsman. One of my favorite tools around the shop is my Bosch router, but one of my least favorite things about the tool is how much debris it produces. One of the efforts I have around my shop is to try and get everything better dust collection at the source so that I'm just not making as much of a mess everywhere. And this tool is particularly bad when I'm using it. My bed frame video and the valet tray are two excellent examples of how crazy debris filled prone this particular tool is and how much it just throws it all over my shop as I'm trying to use it. So today I want to unbox or unbag a particular shroud that Bosch makes for this router to see if it's worthy of an addition to this router and something that I'm going to use on a more regular basis. All right, let's go ahead and get it unboxed and tested. Alrighty, so this is the Bosch RA1172AT, and on Amazon at least it comes in a bag that looks like this. Now, one of the challenges that I had in trying to find dust collection for this is that I couldn't find one that wasn't edge-based. A whole bunch of the different router table dust collection adapters are actually intended to mount onto the router itself for when you're using it on an edge, and so it can kind of catch the debris as it's coming off, but rarely were any of them for a flat surface that you were trying to work around, and the only one that I could find is this package that has both together. So we're gonna go ahead and unbox this real fast and see how it hooks up to the plunge base that the router has, and then we're gonna go ahead and give it a shot. Alrighty, so remember how I said it was difficult to try and find exactly the right one that I needed? Well, I was looking through the directions and they said, hey, dust collection for the plunge base looks like this. Not this, not this. I didn't get the right kit. Okay, let me pause for a second and I will be right back as movie magic occurs and I get the right one. And just like that, with some fancy movie magic, I've got the other kit. This one's the 1177 AT, and it looks like it actually has everything that the previous kit had in it, but let's go ahead and tear it open and see everything that's actually included. Alrighty, so this one comes with three different parts as well. You've got one is the vacuum adapter, two, the shroud component that I needed to fit on the plunge base. It also comes with a shroud or a shroud-like thing for the fixed base, and also a swivel guide that snaps into different positions, and then the same edge forming guide, which I imagine will fit the bottom of the plunge guide or the fixed router base if I wanted to use that. But this is the one that we're most interested in. Let's go ahead and get it on. Okay, so it says that you can attach it where you're either facing in the outward direction, or sorry, the forward direction, which is this one, or the backwards direction here, which is the one that I'm really gonna want because I'm more than likely using it in this orientation the vast majority of the time. Now, the cool part about this is you can actually get these in a 3D printed version. I just did my video on the router table and the dust collection attachment that I was able to find for that, and that's 3D printed. But the problem is that it's not see-through. The benefit to these guys, these clear ABS parts, is that I can still see what is happening on the inside here, and I'm able to collect dust at the same time. So one of the other things that I had also gotten with the kit is a whole bunch of thumb screws, and I think it's all the same thumb screws it looks like. Just used on the different components as you're trying to mount them in. This guy seems to fit really nicely. I can see where it lines up with the two different holes that are already there. It does interfere with the flexible housing a little bit. The skirts that go around the pistons that move up and down, but I don't think that that's going to be an issue with getting this guy mounted in. And sure enough, no issues there. One of the pieces of feedback that I had seen online is that this guy is not the strongest build. For me, honestly, it feels a little bit, I mean, it doesn't feel flimsy, it just feels like standard build quality for an injection molded piece of plastic. One of the other things that I notice is that it may interfere with the edge guide. Oh, well, let's actually just test it real fast. I have that on hand. So it doesn't interfere with the edge guide, but it is a tighter fit than it would be otherwise. So I think it should be fine to use that. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the router put in here and get my bit in so that we can see how well it actually collects. so per my usual, and I'm not sure if you guys can see this fully, but I've got from the kit the Bosch dust collector adapter and then another PowerTech dust collector adapter to go up to the 2 1/4 inch or the 2 1/2 inch hose that I'm using. I think they're actually 2 1/4, but they fit into a 2 1/2. I always seem to have an issue with these dust collector attachments, so I'll try and figure out if I can't go straight from this up to my 2 1/2 so I don't have this just kludgy mess of all these adapters coming through here. But the moment I've been waiting for is to see how much better does this collect when I'm trying to use it. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull a test piece out and we're just gonna start cranking through some of the wood and see how well it collects. Okay, so it's not the miracle working dust collection solution for it, but it certainly is a lot better than just not having anything on there at all. You can still see that I ended up with a bunch on the workbench. Maybe I was going a little bit faster than the dust collection could handle, but it does have a moderate amount of suction and it allows it to pick up a good chunk of the chips, which you could see as I was using it. So I would say overall, definitely an improvement. I wouldn't say that it is well, you know, it probably does reach must-have status just because it does keep so many of the chips out of the way, and when you're trying to work on a big project, those are going to go everywhere, whereas this one, they will still go in a lot of places, but you're not looking at nearly as much filth as you would get otherwise. Curious if it's going to help if I can actually reduce this down a little bit so that I don't have quite the step through in order to get to the 2 1/2 inch. But overall, yeah, pretty excited about this guy. So overall, I'm pretty impressed with the dust collection that Bosch had put together for it. I was not impressed with how hard it was for me to find it. I will link exactly what I purchased down in the description below. Note that when you go to the actual page on Amazon, it only shows one piece, but it's actually the 3-piece set that I had showed you. And it does fit the 1617, or I think it's the 1166 plunge base for the 1617 EVSPK router kit. But overall, I do think it's good. I do think it helps to collect a vast majority of what's there, but I am a little bit disappointed that it doesn't collect everything that's there like I kind of expected it to, given how small an aperture it is. I didn't really expect it to blow stuff all over the place like it did still. But who knows, maybe I'm just working a little bit fast. We'll see how it works as I move forward in the future, but it's definitely an improvement, and I would say you probably get about 80% of everything you would, or 90% of everything you would, compared to not having it on there. If you guys have any questions about it, go ahead and leave it in the comment section down below, and if you like the kind of videos we're producing here at Northwest Craftsman, we'd really appreciate it if you gave us a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget that little bell notification icon so that you can see when we get new videos coming out. I've got a couple of new stuff or new tools that are coming into the shop, and so I'm going to do some unboxings for you guys so that you guys can see all the different tools that I'm getting and see if it's going to be helpful for you guys around your shop. So anyways, thank you guys for joining me. I really appreciate it, and I will see you next time. Happy woodworking. Bye.